Hey friends! If you have low vision or limited mobility that keeps you from doing the things you love to do, well, keep watching and we'll show you how it's possible to get out of the house and explore.
A place where many people for many decades were trying to get off, and we did everything we could to get on. That's Alcatraz.
One of the best pieces of advice that I can give is to go during the low season or the off season to avoid crowds.
We also highly recommend that you pre-purchase your tickets online. We did that and we got an early morning cruise and we found it to be a really easy way to get on board.
The ferry that takes you to Alcatraz Island is located at Pier 33, right along the waterfront. It can be accessed by cab, Uber, buses, streetcars, or even your own 2 feet. It's about a 15-minute walk from the Fisherman's Wharf sign. We chose to walk, and it was about a mile from our hotel, so we made sure to be up early. We had a great hotel breakfast, and then we took our time walking to the ferry. There are so many places to sit and rest along the way, and beautiful sculptures and scenery. A ramp led up to the ferry, and once inside, you could choose to sit in the lower level inside portion or take 1 to 2 flights of stairs up to the open air portions of the ferry. We chose to go up 1 flight. Again, it wasn't too difficult since the boat was not crowded. However, it was pretty difficult to walk around the ferry once it undocked and headed to the island. I walked to the railing to take some pictures, and I'm sure it was a hilarious sight to see me swaying and stumbling around. No sea legs, I guess. I brought these Dramamine ginger chews that I got from Amazon. They work very well if you tend to get motion sickness. And how about these views of the Bay Bridge and the Golden Gate Bridge? It was just amazing. The ride was short, less than 15 minutes. Once there, all of us gathered around a tour guide for some facts about Alcatraz and some directions and logistics when visiting.
We knew in conducting our research that there may be some difficulties on the island. We found out that the trail up to the prison is a 1/4 mile, the equivalent of 13 stories up. And so we were prepared to maybe not go all the way to the top if it proved to be too difficult.
But great news! There is a small transport vehicle driven by volunteers that will take you to the top if you have mobility issues. We were elated by this news. We found out that this runs about twice an hour, so after a short wait, we rode it up to the prison. Inside the prison, you have an option to take an audio tour. We highly recommend this. It was so interesting and was narrated by actual Alcatraz prison guards. The prison main floor, small museum, gift shop, and restrooms can be accessed on 1 level. If you want to take the full audio tour, you will need to take some stairs up and down. Along the tour, you stop at many different cells and see some of the activities the prisoners did to pass the time. We were told that some parts of the prison were very cold and drafty and made for dreadful accommodations. We were also told that the prisoners could hear people laughing and having fun from the distant shore or in boats in the bay. Can you even imagine being locked up in a cell but still be able to hear, smell, and see this amazing view?
When we finished touring the prison, we took the shuttle down to the base of the island. It was a nice smooth ride. They were very accommodating, very easy to do. They do accept tips, so I would recommend that you tip your driver. And if you happen to get Michael, be sure and talk to him. He's a wealth of knowledge. Besides that, they take you right by the boat and can get you on early if you have special needs. Just let them know. We found it to be a very easy and smooth process. We like to rate our adventures on a 10-point scale according to the following 3 factors: accessibility, interest, and overall experience. Based on those factors, honey, what would you rate Alcatraz?
I really enjoyed Alcatraz. I would probably rate this an 8 out of 10. I thought that it was accessible, except for inside the prison there were some stairs, but everyone was just so accommodating and the interest level is really high. I thought it was a lot of fun, especially taking the ferry across the bay. What would you rate Alcatraz, honey?
I'm not mailing it in here, but I'm going to say it depends, and I'm going to give you 2 ratings. The first one I'm going to give it is a 6.5. As a blind man, there are many things about the island, depending on the experience that you want to have, that would be a little tricky. For one, we visited the main prison, which overall was a pretty good experience. However, there are a lot of outbuildings that we could have explored, things like that. So a lot of those I didn't feel as safe or that I could have done in as much time. So for that reason, on some of the things that I potentially missed out on, I would say a 6.5. Along with that, I would also say the gift shop is very dark, very, very hard for me to navigate in as a blind man. That being said, if you are only looking to go to the cell block and see where all of the famous prisoners have been, the Birdman of Alcatraz, Al Capone, all of that, then I would have given this an 8 or 9 out of 10. It was really an interesting, great adventure and pretty accessible overall once you get up the flight of stairs. So let's make it an 8 out of 10 on the prison itself.
If you find this video to be helpful and you'd like to know more about the things we did when visiting San Francisco, please check out our videos on Fisherman's Wharf and also on Muir Woods. And if you want to know the real adventure, watch our video on the Amtrak trip that we took to San Francisco. It did not go as planned.
Well, that wraps up this adventure. We really appreciate you joining us. Please be sure to like and subscribe, and if you have any comments or feedback, drop them in the section below. We read every one of them. We look forward to seeing you again, and we hope you'll join us on a next adventure.